I totally forgot to run some ads, so nobody would have to deal with pre-roll ads, but that's okay. That's okay. We should be fine. Okay, that volume's all the way down. We gotta turn that up, obviously. We want to make sure you wonderful people will be able to hear all the exciting action that's going to take place after a wonderful day number one. We're going to get ready for day number two. Yeah, this is... Okay. Just trying to figure some things out. We've slightly changed up, but barely changed up the way we did things, so I wanted to make sure I had it all right and under control, and I do so believe that I do. And we should be good to go. So we got our wonderful Team Liquid first place, currently 3 chicken dinners, and they are only 3 points above Mira. So Mira, they've had a couple more kills. They've had just a little bit more consistency getting up towards the top in the end game. So they just have a few more points from that. Meanwhile, Luminosity, they haven't got quite as many placement points, haven't gotten quite as many kills, and that is why they are in third place at 64. Those are our top 3 teams right now. They are the most likely ones to take the top 3 spots. There's no guarantee. We'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see if any of the other teams down below them are going to string together some wonderful games like they did. I mean, Luminosity and Liquid both had over 15 kill games yesterday. So we'll see if maybe potentially Dangerous, Mutt, Alcadzia, Fairy Tail, or even Amigos might be able to put together a game or two like that and kind of turn things around and try and go for those top spots. If not, those teams will be fighting for your mid-table positions alongside Systematicos, 4-0, and Dream 1. Oh, Frost. Be in a real difficult position. The blue 12 right there. He's going to try and sneak his way forward. Oh, he spotted him going around. Pirlo also making his way over here, so there's going to be 3 different teams over here. Frost, he may actually go for some shots onto Pirlo. In Team Liquid, they know that Frost is probably a solo here. Pirlo, he hears him, but he's not able to react in time. Knock and flush for Frost. So even if Team Liquid comes in here afterwards to take care of him, he did at least pick up a kill before going out. He picked up a Pirlo before going out, as Pirlo is the first player to die in day number 2. We'll have to see if Dead End is going to be the first team to go out. Would be unfortunate for them. Oh, Alo, he goes down. But it doesn't look like Frost's going to be able to get any sort of flush onto him currently. The shot's going to come through. No, Purdy! He goes down to Frost, and Frost, he gets a 3rd! Extreme, the last one left, the shot's going out, and Frost finally goes down. But Bonsai, they're gonna send it over here. Extreme is gonna flush out Frost. Now it's gonna be Extreme's turn to hold against the members of Bonsai and Dead End. They're gonna try and get involved into this now that they know the teams that are fighting over here. Extreme, he gets a second knock onto Aguilar's. Andrew, he's there, not going down. The shot's coming down. Zero also taken out to about half, and now from behind, Zero going down. Dead End getting involved. The shot's coming through, but no, Dead End. They come in and they capitalize with the 3rd party. They take down 2 teams. What kind of pandemonium is that to start day number 2? Team Liquid and Bonsai both falling in Dead End, coming out the victors. One piece of pandemonium after the other. In Dead End, they may have had the first player to die so far today, but they were also able to get the first team elimination and the second, and now they have the center of the zone to work with. We've seen players hold that off already, getting multiple kills before going down, and Dead End with 3 players there should be able to hold it off just fine for a good little while. But speaking of Bonsai and Dead End, 2 of our teams that are in the bottom half of the leaderboard, they need any of the points they can get, and they have secured themselves a few. Bonsai going out, definitely gonna be suffering a little bit there. Meanwhile, Dead End gonna be very happy with it. Toyo, they are in the relegation zone right now, and they definitely need to have this work out for them. Toyo takes down 1 with the M16. Isn't able to find any more, as this truck is very dilapidated. 2 tires already destroyed. Caspitan, oh no, you don't have any bullets in the Mini to work with. You're gonna have to try and get some shots out. Coyote, RDG, both pulling up, and Coyote takes down Caspitan. Nades going out from Emmy, and shots from the hillside. Benya and Black take down 1 apiece. RDG gonna get flushed out already. Dwamsin and Falcon in the smoke, surrounded by Toyo, who should be able to get back up to a 4-man. They need these kills onto Synchrony, and it's gonna be another set of teams down at the bottom of the leaderboard fighting with each other. The tire is going to be popped here by Toyo. They are not going to be wanting Synchrony to get out of here. Caspitan, he throws the nade forward. It does a little bit of damage to each of them, but not nearly enough. They tried to hop in the truck, but they're not going to be able to make it out of there. Black going to get the flush onto Coyote. Now Falcon drums in. Back in another vehicle. The smoke up perfectly lining him up to get away, but no, Emmy's gonna get a couple of shots, and they're gonna stop again right away. Benya finds an angle, takes down 1, Dwamsin, the last one left, not spotted out by Emmy, and Emmy almost goes down. Now he finds the shots, and down goes Synchrony. You know what's gonna happen? There's gonna be a third party. Dream 1. They heard all the commotion, and they're getting involved. They got a knock onto Black. Are they going to be able to turn it into any kills? Is the question. Black, he just barely over that ridge side, but I don't know if it's actually safe enough for someone to go res them. Oh, peeks in. He does take a shot there. We have 3 teams gone already. And we're not even 10 minutes in. Oh, Black, if you try and make it through there, crawl through there, there's just the tiniest little dip, and yep, you're gonna get flushed out. So now Toyo, deep in the zone, gonna be dealing with Dream 1. Benya, the last one up with a working vehicle. It's Caspitan and Emmy. I don't think there's a single vehicle left over here with working tires. They're gonna try and make it over to Benya, surely, to try and then drive on out of here. Looks like they are just gonna retreat for now. They're like, it is not worth it to try and take that fight. Dream 1, they're gonna continue. They're rotate in. We are down to 50 players. 14 players lost, 3 teams gone at the 10-minute mark. What a crazy start to this one it's been. And it wasn't even HUD drops. These were all, like, teams fighting for positions or running into each other on rotates and deciding that they want to take the fights. And then another team getting involved with a third party. And it's gonna mess around with the bottom of the leaderboard quite a bit. Toyo, they've gotten some kills. Synchrony, they're out. Bonsai, they got a couple of kills before they went down to Dead End, who got killed by Team Liquid. And then both of those teams, I mean, Bonsai and Liquid just going down to Dead End there is crazy. And Dead End gonna be able to get plenty of points. Really, right now, the confirmed safe teams are probably 7th place and up. Amigos very close behind. Casa Grande going down to Fauna. Good long-range shots there from the team members at Mira, but they are slowly getting surrounded. Lawson, he's trying to make his way up this hillside, but by the time he gets up here, Mira's gonna already be gone. Lawson getting up here, it's not actually gonna amount to anything. Mira's gonna be gone, they're gonna make their rotate, and Zera, he's going back towards his team. Casa Grande should be picked up, so Systematico is gonna be back up as a 4-man and should be able to make it into zone with no problem. Fairy Tail gonna be fighting on the edge of zone with Alcadzia. Roth and Shroud will be the first ones that run into each other if they go any further. Cowboy still all the way back on Impala Hill. Mira gonna be rotating on the roadside below, going towards Puerto. Looks like they're gonna pull right down to the coastline. Oh, LFP1. Of all the spots to land, right on top of a rock makes it a little bit difficult. As the Murados just hum in sync. Bana, Fakes, and Quan, and LFP1. They have the chance. They're at 72 points, just 3 points behind Team Liquid. Sorry, I'm just going to pull this up as well, see if it's doing similar things. Sorry to disturb your viewing experience for a second there, guys. Systematicos, they're in on the edge of the current one, but we're going further down to the south, so they're still going to have to go even further. And Mira, they made it into a compound, but it's going to be pretty heavily contested by Amigos if they want to stick their heads up and over the hillsides, but it doesn't look like they want to. Mira going back in to the longhouse because Mutt is getting a few shots onto him. Fairy Tail rotating in just ahead of Alcadzia, who are pulling up on the dips above them. Luminosity looming. But it doesn't look like a fight is going to break out with Alcadzia yet. Now shots do come through. Rello knows that Snakers is over here, goes for the nade. It doesn't do any damage. Rello, I'd say probably in the most exposed position out of all of the players from Luminosity, and now Amigos and Mira, their fight gonna be popping off. LFP1 was knocked. Quan from the second floor holding. So LFP1 still getting res. The shots coming out from Fakes in towards the Amigos. that southwest corner of the zone, just completely open. Just no one around. There's so much opportunity, and there's going to be so many players rotating in to this edge of zone that it's going to be detrimental as Jam gets a knock on to Gats. It looks like Roth just trying to blow up his vehicle, make something work. Cowboy watching as potentially dangerous, going right in between his teammates. Continuing on, Nidavon does make it through the gauntlet, but it's right into Fairy Tale, that potentially dangerous ghost. Snakers. His cover getting shot at by Cowboy. It's almost gone, but Cowboy, he's running low on 5s. Fairy Tale potentially dangerous. And it looks like Fairy Tale survived with only 1 player left because of the wonderful help from Roth. Systematicos looking to dismantle Dead End, and the nade from Lawson takes care of him. No more is the Dead End. Luminosity still gonna have to make their way forward. Back over to Mira versus Amigos, and the shots coming through, not connecting. That headshot does, and 12 IG surviving on a sliver. Vapeskar has been knocked. I'm probably going to try and push a little bit if he can. The spray coming out, the flush. And Amigos, they lose 1. But for now, they are still going to be surviving as a 3-man. Fakes in, he goes down. Last resource on the hillside below. Fana, just quick little burst over the top to try and get some damage out. Luminosity, they still want to linger, try and make it in onto the edge here. Cowboy, he's made it over to the rest of Alcadzia. Bisler has been lost for Luminosity as Flameskirt knocks peeks in. First team knock of the day we see coming through in the kill feed. And Gmo, they are taking the building right next to Alcadzia. Rello looks like he may be curious about stepping over towards them. Rello, oh, he's gonna end up getting left behind here. Stuck in between 2 different team shots coming out from Cowboy. The P90 doesn't connect with any bullets. Kamish, Flavin, Gmo. His type goes down to the blue zone. Maybe a disconnect there. 4-0. They're at 26 points. They definitely want to try and get a few more before they go out anywhere. Rello, no, he doesn't find the knock onto the first one, but he does onto the second. Gets the flush to follow. He still has to be aware of Snakers and the rest of Luminosity behind him. Now the shot's coming through onto Kamish, but they don't get the knock again. It's just the last couple of bullets that he's missing. He's not connecting with Gmo. Does he get the first aid off in time? No, he doesn't. The blue zone does end up getting the knock, and now Alcadzia, they're going to be pushing. They're going to be wanting to finish this off. Kamish goes down. Rello picks up 2 more kills. He's up to 3. Alcadzia 4 so far in this game. 36 alive. We've lost 6 teams so far. 20-minute mark, 2/3 of the way through. A little bit over, probably. Mira, they were able to hold off Amigos. They went back to the longhouse, and now they're going to be holding the edge of zone as Amigos, they retreat back, and they get couple of buildings themselves that they can use. 12 IG, he's going up onto the hillside, which I feel like could be a little scary, especially with Caspitan right there. Might end up getting a little bit of an angle onto him. Oh no, the vehicle rolling away from Hansi. Caspitan throwing the nade forward does good damage, and Hansi holding on for right now. But definitely not in a comfortable spot, just trying to get Dream 1 something inside of the zone. Systematicos, they're making their send forward. And Zera, he has this spot on the very edge of the zone. Now the rest of Systematico is going to be coming over here. Gotta be careful not to run each other over. It does seem like they'll be able to hold on to that spot for right now. Luminosity still fighting Alcadzia. It looks like Luminosity now going to be the team in front. Roth taking shots from Voxic. They both trade. Both do good damage. Neither gets a knock. Casa Grande making his way forward. Systematico's now cementing themselves in on the edge, but Anzira gets taken down by Snakers. Steal by Cruxy on the kill. Now Alcadzia, they still trying to make their way forward. They need a spot in zone. Cowboy has one. It looks like they want to try and deal with Luminosity. Oh, Dream 1. They're doing damage now. It's going to make it so Alcadzia can't really make a comfortable run over here to try and deal with the members of Alcadzia. Jibs with a good shot onto Rello. It's either they gotta full push this or decide to back off, and it looks like the push gonna be coming through Jam. The first one forward, Snakers and Voxic just over the hillside. Jam, he gets a headshot onto one, trying to go for the shots, doesn't find him. Snakers gets the knock onto Jam, and Alcadzia, they have to knock the nade coming up and over, but it goes much too far, and they're continuing to throw them over, but they're going too far. Maybe if they got lucky and it bounced back off of the coop, but no. Not gonna be happening. Cowboy tries to go for the spray, and he goes down, and now 2 up, 1 up. Rello, the last one remaining for Alcadzia. He takes a headshot. Snakers goes down to Arthur. Alcadzia, they are down and out. There's the third party, a little bit too much. Systematico's getting pushed on by Last Resource. We've picked up 1 kill so far in this one. Cruxy. With a knock onto H11 Jr. on Mutt. Not even really in this fight. And now Balin finds Ribeiro, and both of the Systematicos players go down, and a couple more points for Last Resource. We're going to be up towards the points that the rest of the teams were at the end of match number 6 yesterday. So now we're going to see Mira on the edge of the zone. Mutt in front of them. Last Resource, they've taken the spot of Systematicos. And Baki gets a knock onto Balin. As LFP1 trying to get some info, trying to figure out what is safe and what isn't safe to try and push up towards. Cruxy spotted out. The shot's going out, but he survives. The final bullet wasn't found. He needed 1 more to be able to get the knock, and Trisk there returns fire. Gets a good shot onto LFP1. As Cruxy gets a knock onto Baki. Flamesker, he gets a knock onto Griffith, and Fairy Tail, they have 4 kills. Still up as a 3-man, and it looks like they're going to back off. This dip does seem to be pretty playable. They should be able to survive here for quite a while if they just prevent themselves from getting knocked, as Akim Gets shot at by Arthur as he's running down into the dip. They're going to be safe now, and them and Mutt, the only two teams in the zone. Benya snaking it, but Mira going to be pushing over here. There's going to be a full 4-man as behind him, Dream 1, giving covering fire. 7 kills for Toyo, much better so far in this match than they have almost all of yesterday, honestly. If they can get 1 or 2 more kills and a couple of placement points, then they're already going to match their total for yesterday. Last Resource looking to do something similar. Shots come out. Conf gets a little bit of damage. Good nade from Cruxy. Gets the opening knock onto Griffith. So many smokes here covering Last Resource as they push forward. More nades coming through. More damage coming out. Akim brought down extremely low. That nade looks like it is good, and it does get the knock onto Akim. Conf, the last one left, and he goes down to Arthur. Last Resource. 6 kills and up to 5th place. They've definitely gotten at least 8 points so far in today's match, and it looks like Mira, they're going to be taking the fight towards Mutt. 4v4. Do any third parties come through? Blue zone over towards Fake. Well, both Fakes. But it's only going to do damage to one of them. Molotov goes up and over. Fauna finds the knock onto Fake, and that's 1 down for Mutt. The rest inside aren't going to be able to give any cover to their teammate. Benya, he finds a shot onto Peekson. What a headshot there. Cruxy from behind finds one onto Flamescar and Dream 1. Down to Jibs. What a headshot there from LFP1. It's just headshot city right now. It's Arthur. He finds one onto H11 Junior now in Last Resource. Having a wonderful game so far here in match number 7. As Jibs, he's right down below Last Resource. Benya, Mira, Mutt, they all have to still make their rotate into the zone. They're not safe yet. And the zone going to be pushing them any second now right into the waiting hands of Last Resource. It's all about who moves first. Who's going to go down when Arthur does spot out Baki, tries to go for a couple of shots, spamming through the smoke now. They're spraying through the smoke, but maybe a little bit early. Quan takes a couple of shots from Trisk. More shots coming through, and Plents gets the opening knock onto Cruxy. Trisk, he spots him out. He's gonna go for the 4x spray here in a second. Baki gets the knock onto Balin. And now Trisk gonna have to be the one to try and hold. He gets the opening knock onto H11 Junior, and more to follow. That's a second one down, but down goes Last Resource. Jibs pops up and over the top. And is able to finish off the last member. And now it's a 4v1v1 Jibs and Plents against Mira. Plents on the backside of the building, avoiding any damage. Now he's taking a little bit. Down he goes to the shots from Fauna. Now it's going to be Jibs. Can he find any kills before he goes down and out? Fakes in, spot him out, but down he goes, and Mira win match number 1. 9 kills for Mira in the first match. And whew, I'd say that probably the beginning was the crazier part of that it kind of chilled out. There was some fights here and there, but definitely the beginning fights were the craziest there. And that is how we end match number 7. We are going to go to a quick break as we get ready for match number 8. 8 comes after 7. I forgot basic math there for a second, but we'll be right back after a quick break. There we go. Here we go. Match number 8. Okadzia, Synchrony. They have hut dropped each other. Roth a little bit separated from the rest of his team. In La Cabrera. I don't know if it's just the other feed. Flavin, he's taken some shots. Looks like that was from Bonsai. They lost Zero. Flavin gonna be hopping in the vehicle, trying to get away. Oh. Oh no, spinning, flipping, not gonna be the way to go. He takes a headshot, he's barely surviving. Down he goes as Frost taps away with the AK. Down he goes. Okay. This one is like 3 minutes behind. I didn't know when this one was going to start up, so we had the other one going for a second. Sorry, we're going to see a repeat of everything we just saw for a second. I do so greatly apologize. There is 2 separate feeds, I'm pretty sure, just in case one goes down. This one has all of the overlays and everything on it. And I feel like it's fallen further and further behind the other one. Just trying to make sure we're all chilling on the right path. Nothing else special going on, I don't think. It's okay. We were at 4 minutes, so we're just a minute away. There we see Flavin getting the flush onto Zero. I kind of missed that one last time. So they did have a fight. Flavin, 113 damage. So he killed him and did a little bit extra. See Frost again go tappity tap tap with the AK. Tap 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 tap. Alright, now we're all caught back up to where we were before. Should be good to go now. Luke 12 lurking up on the hillside, deciding if he wants to try and go over here and take down Bonsai, if he can get involved in time. But Bonsai, they're gonna get out of here without a problem. Luke 12 not gonna be able to capitalize on it at all. He was ready. Had they been slacking at all, they would have been there immediately. trying to get some shots onto Roth, who's biking away. He's taken a couple of shots so far. That's a third one. But he makes it up and over the hillside, where he's going to be at least a little bit more safe against Synchrony. The rest of Alcadzia pushing towards Falcon. The shot's coming out from RDG. He finds one. Almost finds another. This Falcon does end up going down. Rello getting flushed out, and now they're going to know where he was. Jam, he's pushing up with a shorty. The nade going up and over, and it's a great nade from Cowboy to take down RDG. That's going to be 2 down from Synchrony. Alcadzia, they're at the 40-point mark, so they're at the safe point already. The nade towards Coyote, not enough. Another bullet. Jam does find the knock on to Coyote. There's one player left on Synchrony, Dwamsen. Roth baited out some shots originally, distracted the other 2 members of Synchrony. Now what can Dwamsen do? 16 points on Synchrony's side right now. And another early exit is not what they want. The flush coming through. Jam quickly traded out the Vector. Only 19 bullets, so he only has the hope of taking down 1. The trade could be difficult. As we end up buffering a little bit. This is the other one that we're watching. So this one's going to be like super far behind at this point. I don't know what ended up happening. We're down to 15 teams. Imagine that Synchrony went down. If Synchrony did not go down, then we just probably missed out on a really cool thing. Should have been paying attention to both feeds at the same time. Typhon. Or nothing, getting some good shots. Gmo. Purdy gets the knock onto Gmo. Team Liquid. Extreme almost goes down. Nade comes up and over. Mish spotted out now. The shot's coming through, barely surviving, and down he goes. Extreme finds the final bullet. And now Luke 12 going to immediately turn, take some shots towards Dream 1. So we are on the very edge of the zone. Schnitzel. Because I don't know how to say the beginning of your name. But the end of it's definitely Schnitzel. How are you doing on this wonderful day? That is an adorable emote. Absolutely love it. Schnitzel is fine. Love it. Rada rada. Happy that Schnitzel is fine. Oh, let's see. Dream 1. They took some shots. Okay. Whoever's driving that ran right into the back of a parked vehicle. That is 100% your fault. Hardcore Schnitzel. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if I will probably just call you Schnitzel. But I wanted to know how to say the whole name. It was paramount to me to make sure that I knew how to say the name. I don't like not knowing how to say people's names. So I feel like then I'm not getting to know the person. As we're pulling over towards Graveyard, and potentially dangerous. They have a wonderful spot in that zone. Mira, they have a little bit of work to do to get over there. They see people up on top of the other hillside. So the question is, how do they want to go into the next zone? Where are they going to rotate to? Are they going to go north? Are they going to go straight towards the zone? Or are they going to go down to the south? And what teams are going to be waiting there for them? As it looks like they're ending up going north of Power Grid, going past Mutt. Fauna swapping guns real quick. And the north is gonna be pretty packed. Honestly, unless you go like all the way down and around to the south, it's pretty packed as well. Not a ton of spots to play. A lot of teams are already taking spots in zone. Toyo taking the gas station of Picado. Emmy, he takes a bolty shot to the back. And that was a lot of damage. But he is going to be able to survive. It didn't hit his head, so he's not going to get knocked. Caspitan going a little bit further, trying to take a little bit more space as Mira. They get a knock onto Dead End. Paradox going to be going right past MHP, who is going to go down to the flush from Fakeson. Dead End, they're going to have to make their way into zone. Where are they going to go? They had a decent start to the match in the last one, but they are demoted all the way down into the last place position because everyone on the bottom of the leaderboard had good matches. Toyo, they finally made it up and out of the relegation zone for next week. So it should be a good showing for them. If they can keep it up, they should be able to confirm their way through. Again, the only teams that we have confirmed safe right now are the top 7. Amigos, they only picked up 1 point in the last match. If they get 1 point every match, they will be safe. But if they end up going out with 0 points in some of these matches, then all of a sudden it's going to be a fight for survival. Systematicos, they have a northern position. 2-2 split for them right now. It is only phase 2. 2-2 splits. I'd say usually fine until phase 4, and then you kind of have to abandon them and commit to a position. As Bonsai, they pick up another kill, but Frost goes down to extreme. Team Liquid doing some good damage onto Bonsai. Mira, they went super far north, and they've avoided almost everyone so far, but they're going to be rotating right into Fairy Tale. We are getting some stuttering. No. I don't want to skip forward. Next match, I'm going to swap over to the other clean feed, so we're not going to have the leaderboard on the left-hand side. We're going to do that after we look at the leaderboards and everything on this one. Just so we can be as, like... This one just lags every once in a while. And obviously I want to try and bring you guys the best possible viewing experience. And the slight interruptions every once in a while on this one, I feel like isn't the best viewing experience that I can bring you. Doesn't happen very often, but it does just every once in a while stutter a little bit. Last Resource fighting up against Mira. Last Resource, they've taken one knock, but they've gotten two, and that's a second one. LFP1 finds another, and now it's Arthur, the last one left for Last Resource. The shot's coming through. What a shot by LFP1 to take down the last member. And Last Resource eliminated in 14th. And I am so glad that I didn't swap over to the other clean feed, because we would have ended up missing those shots, because it is a couple of minutes ahead. Now we're going to see Mutt following Dead End on their rotate, trying to stick right onto the northern side of the zone. They found a little bit of a dip as they are running into rocks. Not exactly how you want to play it. Fairy Tale, they have a 2-1-1 split, and it looks like Shroud going to be on the move shortly here to regroup with the rest of his team. Phase 3 coming to an end, and this is really where you got to get ready to commit to a single position. No more 2-2 splits going on anymore. No more splits really at all going on. No, Kadzia, that looks like they might be trying one. Dream 1. Trying to sneak their way into zone. Mutt right next door. Dead End up on the hillside, gonna be taking shots towards Dream 1, gonna make their life much more difficult. Flameskar peeks in and Jibs, all in the same vehicle. They're going forward. Is there a spot that they can actually go to without getting spotted by every single other team around here? It looks like they're going to try and pull up on this rock, but Systematicos have decent sightlines onto it. Dream 1 still surviving. This peeks in. He did hop out, and that's 2 down. Fakes in and Quan getting some good shots onto them, and Mira, they are stepping up their game. They're up to 91 points at the end of last match, and they are not slowing down. 8 kills already in this match. Lentz gets a knock onto Hansy. That is Dream 1 down to a solo player just out in the field. Dead End still up on the hillside. They're down to a 2-man, and Akim gets a... No, they're still up as a 3. Akim gets a knock onto Paradox, though. We're going to see Fairy Tale trying to dismantle Dead End. Shroud with a good nade onto Pirlo. The shot's coming through, and down they go. Shroud able to quickly dispatch of the Dead End. And Fairy Tale. They should actually be able to go up and over the hillside a little bit, and they have the compound. No one else has claimed it yet. Mutt trying to make their rotate into the zone. They are getting shot at. 1, 2, and when does Clunts fall? There he goes. 3. All of them fall. As Systematicos sliding forward, pulling up on the hillside. Gotta be careful. Mira probably not gonna appreciate them in that position. Gonna be nading over. And the nade from Quan does get the knock onto Anzira. Casa Grande spotted out by Fauna. Lawson has spotted out Fauna. Systematico is going to be trying to smoke over, rescue their teammate. Casa Grande, he takes a neck shot there. Quan making his way forward. Oh, he was thinking about the Molotov. But he doesn't go with it. Fauna able to get the flush onto Anzira, not the knock onto Ribeiro. Now Luminosity have decided that they want to look into this fight. And Lawson has been knocked. Bisler, Snakers pushing forward. Voxic trying to give some covering fire from beyond. That nade, it looks good, but it's not cooked at all, and it's going to roll a little bit too far. Had that been cooked, it was right in between the 2 members of Luminosity. Could have gotten an easy knock. nades coming through, not connecting with anything. The Luminosity, they do want to take this down. Bizzler gets Casa Grande. Ribeiro, the last one remaining. 1v3 for Ribeiro. The stun is going to be coming forward. And the push from Luminosity. Voxic, he spotted him out. The flush coming through. Ribeiro going for the spray, but down he goes. Luminosity able to decimate Systematicos. Now we're going to see where the teams are going to be able to go. Team Liquid, they have the center of the zone, but no hard cover to really work with. It's all just open space. Mira, they're up in the bell tower, up on top. Headshots going through. Double headshot connects onto LFP1, and he gets knocked by Luke 12. The res a little bit difficult as the rest of the team had gone over to the other building. So now Quan gonna have to go back to get the res. Conf gets a knock onto a vault. 12 IG, the last one left for Amigos. He ends up dropping the gas can at his feet. The rest of Fairy Tail, they're aware, but they don't really want to push down onto it, and it might be because Alcadzia has an angle down onto them. Potentially dangerous, looking towards Luminosity. Voxic trying to take some shots back towards Glock. Snakers trying to get a little bit closer of a position, him and Nidavon. Maybe the first two to lock horns. As Aguilar's the solo goes down and peeks in quick to follow afterwards, but Peeksin is the one that ends up with a placement point, getting that 8th place spot. Now we're going to see Alcadzia, potentially dangerous Luminosity, Mira, and Team Liquid. All gonna fight towards the middle and western side of this zone. Bizzler takes a couple of shots from Nidavon. Return nade, barely does any damage. A little bit too low. More nades coming through. More nades doing damage. Nidavon taking much lower on health now, and stuns coming forward. Slabby still a little bit farther up the hillside. Bizzler, he had that headshot lined up. If Slabby had stayed there any longer, could have been very dangerous for him. Bizzler will not miss his shots if he has it all ready and prepped. Potentially dangerous. They move forward in Luminosity. They're gonna follow right behind. They think that this might be the best way for them to continue forward. Cowboy, he's trying to sneak a peek at anyone he can. Alcadzia, 5 kills so far. Having a better day today than they did yesterday, or at least the start of it. They didn't have a ton of points. They only had like 38, I think, going into today. So they're definitely looking to do better than that and climb their way up the leaderboard. They expect to be, I'd say, in the top 3 most of the time. They do have Mira, Liquid, and Luminosity to deal with. As nade comes out, Shroud goes down as 12 IG finds him. Is able to take him down. Doesn't go for the flush immediately. This could give Fairy Tail enough time to come back here. But no, 12 IG, now he gets the flush. Team Liquid, they're going to have a lot of work to do to hold off that central position. Roth gets knocked for Alcadzia. Jam trying to make his way over there, get the rescue. Luminosity making their way forward. But no, it's Gabbru to take down one. Voxic, he takes down one, but he runs out of bullets, and Slabby able to finish him off. Luminosity gets demolished there by Potentially Dangerous. Team Liquid, they've lost one. He hasn't been flushed out. Now they just have to survive in a util, which looks like the onslaught is stopped for right now. Kadzia, they're down to just Cowboy. Jam has been knocked, going for the res. Mira, they still have hard cover. They still have the compound to work with. Fairy Tail gonna be up above them. To the east. Liquid to the south. Potentially Dangerous gonna be the team that has to make it into the zone. Cowboy holding the other edge. Where does Potentially Dangerous try and send it, depending on where they go? That could be detriment, or it could be success. As they do get a knock onto Liquid, who are going to be going for the res instantly. Mira, 11 kills so far. So they're going to get 11 kills, and most likely at least a 4th place. Slabby gets a knock onto Extreme, so just one knock after another onto Liquid, but they're surviving. They're not going down to these nades, to the util. They're surviving and slowly doing more and more damage. Holding out more and more players, but no, Mira looks like going to be making their way forward. Alo gets a knock onto Faison to start it off. Luke 12 barely surviving. The spray from Fauna. This doesn't look like any offensive util remains. Luke 12 further forward. Alo trying to get the res, and now the kill feed lighting up. Faison still knocked. He gets back up onto his feet. But Liquid, they've lost one. Potentially Dangerous have gotten 2 knocked. Akim gets the flush onto Slabby. Cowboy looks like he's going to be the one to sneak his way over. He finishes off Potentially Dangerous. No, actually, Gabbru gets the kill onto Cowboy, but he goes down quickly after Tafana. 4v3. Looks like Mira is more primed to take the fight against Team Liquid, which could open the door for the 3-man of Fairy Tail. Fauna gets a knock onto Purdy. Smoke's going out. Shots being traded. Griffith gets a knock onto Quan as Faison takes down Extreme with the vehicle explosion. Alo, Luke 12, the 2 remaining for Team Liquid. Akim from the other side takes down one, gets the flush onto Purdy, so he steals that kill away. Akim goes down to Fauna. Now 2v4v1. Faison gets the flush onto Extreme. Mira, 4-man still up. Griffith, he takes some big shots, but he doesn't go down. Ayla. Oh, Griffith, he finally does go down to Fauna. Alo, is he going to be able to survive? What can he do? Is Mira going to be coming onto the position? They don't spot him out. He takes down one, he takes down 2. And then he turns around, he goes for the shots, he takes down a 3rd. And he's a little bit glitched in the ground. I don't think that's what's actually happening. LFP1. There's Mira, they all fall down to Alo. And a great nade there from Akim, and then the spray onto Alo, and Fairy Tail end up taking the win. 11 kills in match number 8. That is how that match ends, we will be right back for match number 9. And I know that was a quick break. We didn't have a long break there because I was using the wrong clean feed to actually show you guys. I'm supposed to use the other clean feed to show you guys the leaderboard and everything. That's my bad. All on me. But should have some fun action here, Fairy Tale. Able to pick up a big win after Alo decimated Mira at the end there, turned Mira's hope into despair. So it looks like Dead End and Bonsai gonna be hut dropping each other. I really want to get myself another monitor to put above my current monitor. With all the casting stuff that I've been doing, I feel like it'd be convenient. Aguilar's getting some good shots on MHP. The shorty doesn't really do anything. Does just 30 damage. Now Clausen making his way forward, going with the spam with the mini, but MHP with the shorty. Now it does a little bit more. That nade does a lot, Andrew. Making his way forward, he does get the knock onto MHP, and now the follow-ups onto Clausen. And the SKS rings out, but the third is able to get the knock onto him. Frost the flush onto Clausen. The double barrel does a little bit of damage. Pirlo gets the knock with the Panzer onto Frost. And now Bonsai down to 1-0. He's making his way over the shots coming through from Pirlo, not connecting. He has an S12K that can still do the damage that he needs. Nade getting prepped. Paradox trying to roll it around the corner. As they're going to push outside, and the headshot from Pirlo to take down Bonsai. First team out in match number 9. Looks like Fairytale has been spotted out by Potentially Dangerous, who are putting some early pressure onto last game's winners. As it looks like Potentially Dangerous are actually going to fully commit to a fight here. Conf gets a good shot onto Slabby. And Shroud gets a knock onto Nidavan. Slabby, he's making his way forward. The nade comes out from Shroud, gets the knock onto Gabru. Now Slabby, he definitely spotted out Shroud there. Akim gets the knock onto Slabby. And the early fight goes the way of Fairytale, as Griffith finishes off Potentially Dangerous. So now we're going to have to see Last Resource. Trisk making his way forward. I don't know if he knows about Vapeskir. Now he does, trying to go for the shots, but he's out in the open. He hits one headshot, one more, and it would have been enough. But he goes down, and Vapeskir is going to be able to confirm that point. Unfortunately for Trisk there, Vapeskir just in the much better position. The rest of the amigos all gonna group back up together. Is that Toyo? Oh, yeah, one member of Toyo in the E-pickup. It looks like he's gonna be just prodding for some information while the rest of his team drives into the zone. I personally think this is a great use of the E-pickup. It allows you to get plenty of information, know the lay of the land, and get some prime position without having to take any knocks or anything from the rotation. So we'll see Emmy making his way down. His wonderful purple parachute getting shot at now. Does pop the chute a little bit early because he wants to get on top of the rock. Did he angle it right? Yes, he did. Perfect parachute from Emmy there, and the rest of his team on the other side of the zone. So he has to be careful, though it's kind of difficult when you get knocked from there anyways. As Shroud, he takes down Extreme. And Liquid going to be under pressure from Fairytale. Extreme going to get flushed out by Shroud. We're going to see Fairy Tale up against Liquid. Luke 12 and Purdy up close and personal. Alo trying to give covering fire. Purdy's nade does a little bit of damage. Not enough, and it looks like Liquid gonna be backing off, going to the compound. Calling that fight a little bit of a lost cause. It looks like they're actually gonna be rotating to a compound. They weren't at a compound, it was just a different hill. I'm just glad that we're not getting just test track zones, you know? We're getting a little bit of variety on the zones for this. Got a tickle in my throat there for a second. Felt weird. Too much talking, I guess. Who would have guessed? Caster talking too much, I'd never be able to believe it. Seems ridiculous. It's Liquid. They still really haven't found a spot. Just kind of some hills and some rocks that they found at this point in Mutt. All spread out in front of them. Some point there. Oh, Purdy maybe spotted out. Alo, he gets a knock onto Baki. And if Liquid wanted, they might be able to try and pressure that, but Rello from beyond gets a good couple of shots onto Alo, and he's gonna have to back off and find somewhere else to play. El Kadzia, what is a 2-1-1 split? They have the north, and then two different compounds in the center. That's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy as type in the Porsche. Rotating right alongside his teammate. They're making sure to stay grouped up. Again, if you're grouped up, that means if you run into anyone, you can take it as a full team. If you want to fight, you can fight, but if you're coming in one at a time, then you can just get picked off one at a time. There's not a lot you're going to be able to do with it. 4-0 going to be coming in on the northern side of the zone. We're about to get phase number 2. We're gonna have to see what's gonna happen with it. Alo was almost knocked, or was almost completely gone and out of this match here for Team Liquid. God, dude. Still got a tickle in my throat. I needed some water, I guess. Gonna be the ones that end up with the best zone positioning. Alo going for some shots towards Mutt. This Team Liquid doing what they can. Luminosity. They're in the center. Liquid gonna be able to pull up on this compound. Luke 12, he almost goes down in the process. Gats gets a shot onto Alo. Is going to be surviving. Dream 1 making their rotate into the zone. Handsy is Dacia there doing a little bit of break dancing. Dream 1 gonna be pulling up next to Synchrony. Handsy goes down to Dwamsin. The vehicle, it looks like break danced a little bit too hard on him. Coyote gonna confirm the kill. That is 1 point going the way of Synchrony. They are gonna be trying to pull up right on the edges zone here. Type is at the top of the hill, and the shots come out maybe a little bit too early from Jibs. I don't know if Type knew he was here. Nade gonna be going off, not doing any damage. 4-0, just retreating off the top of that hill. They don't need to take the fight. They have a different spot in zone that they can play from, and that is what they are gonna do. Is the spot that Team Liquid was previously. They left that spot to go towards the center of the zone. Get some prime real estate before it was taken. 4-0, deciding where the spot is that they want to try and play from, and it looks like it's going to be this hill just a little bit further forward, a little bit into zone, but Flavin almost goes down to Mutt. Now he's getting shot from the other side, his vehicle flipping. Alcadzia Jam does end up finding Flavin, turns his head into jelly. It does the same thing onto Gmo, and Luminosity still gonna be loving that compound. I don't know if Bizzler... No, it looks like Voxic is going to move over to Gats. Is Snaker's going to hop in a vehicle and move as well, or is he going to hold on the very edge? No, it looks like he's going to get into a vehicle. Team Liquid, they are sending their way forward onto the hillside. Bizzler might end up a little bit out in the open. Snaker spotted out. Snakers goes down. Purdy with a great spray to get the opening onto Luminosity. They had the center spot, but Team Liquid jumped over here, capitalized on it so quickly. Alo, he doesn't have a vest, so he will go down quickly to just a couple of shots. Question is, does Luminosity have the angles to be able to get those shots onto Alo? Try and take their spot in center back, or is it going to be just shared now? Luminosity and Liquid in the center. Fairy Tale just to the north of them. Oh, Paradox. Looks like he was trying to creep up towards Vapeskir, but down he goes, protected by DNL and the rest of the team on the hillside. Synchrony. Ooh, they're making their drive through the Hellstorm. It looks like they're going to take the spot that Team Liquid was previous. Alcadzia taking some long-range shots. They did lose one. It's 4-0. Going to be fighting up against Mutt. Baki gets some good shots. On to Type. The nade going up and over. Not going to be connecting. Now H11 Jr. from the other side. Gmo goes down to Baki. More shots coming through. He finds his second, but he's getting shot in the back. Blunts ends up with the Molotov onto Baki. Unfortunate there. Unforced error. Flavin takes down H11 Jr. And 4-0 may be able to survive just a little while longer, but no, I think he might go down to the blue zone. Does he get the first aid off in time? No, Flavin goes down to the blue zone. 4-0, down and out, fake. Gonna have to try and make his way forward to get his teammate back up and going. But the zone about to pop into phase 4. Gonna be difficult. Pirlo spotted out by Purdy. Oh, Luminosity. The spot they had was so good, but they just take more and more losses. This is Dream 1 trying to clash onto Luminosity. Bizzler, the last one left. Liquid trying to give some covering fire. for Luminosity. Peeks in now, crashing on as well, and Dream One, they go down to Fairy Tale and Liquid. Bizzler should be able to get the res on to Gats. Be back up to a 2-man. As Liquid still preoccupied trying to keep everyone off of this position. Synchrony making their way over to the ridge side. Right next to Liquid and Luminosity. Purdy with another good shot onto Coyote. It looks like Synchrony is going to be able to make it over here without too much trouble. Fairy Tale there to the north of the center. Luminosity right in the center. And Liquid just to the south. Meanwhile, Mira still in this game, still alive. They never go out early. It's just that crazy consistency that is keeping them up towards the top of the leaderboard. But they hold the east side of your zone. Systematicos, they were on the north, but not really in a spot you could actually call safe. So we're going to see Systematicos have to try and move somewhere. Along with Alcadzia on the other side of the zone. They're going down towards the south as Roth just ramps it up into the air. He gets taken down by Caspitan, though. That's Toyo with another point. Alcadzia rotating right by Amigos as they're trying to send it. And now the kill feed just popping off. Vault, Vapeskir, where are they going to go? They found a little bit of an opening on this edge of the zone, but they take a headshot. Alcadzia now taking more damage. Black takes down one, and Emmy takes down the other. The drive-by Mad Max shooting as Toyo takes down Alcadzia. They pull up on the riverbank just to the south of the zone. Barely in with just a sliver. Last resource. Now they're the team that's moving. Balin taking so much damage. He's hit the ground, but Dromzen gets the knock. Arthur pulls up on the ridge side, but he's taking shots from behind by Fairy Tale. Fairy Tale doesn't want to give any openings to any of these players. It's going to be Coyote getting a knock onto Pirlo. Akim gets a knock onto Cruxy. Balin gets flushed out. One player remains for last resource. Arthur just in front of these players. RDG tries to pop his head up and over, but to no avail. Dwamson, he does get the flush onto Cruxy. And Fairy Tale just controlling so much area. Systematico is the only team with all of their players in the zone. Akim picking up some new 3 gear as Arthur, he's just trying to do some damage with these nades. Dwamson is taking some damage, but not enough for it to be lethal. Toyo, where are they gonna send it? Arthur, he's still just thriving right here. They have a couple of Molotovs. They could try and throw a Molotov over. See what that can do, but Synchrony, they have to make a move here soon. As dead end, they take 2 out of the car of Team Liquid. Luke 12, the last one remaining. He's going to send it somewhere. He's going to send it right next to Toyo. Surviving for right now. No nades or anything doing any damage to him. Smirzera, they're able to take Systematico's position away. He pops a folded shield. So he has the vehicle and a folded shield to work with. Nade's gonna be coming over from Toyo. They look good. One more. And he will go down. But unfortunately not close enough. And he has the folded shield. Protect himself a little bit. Mira doing the damage to him now. as he rolls back over to his exploded vehicle. His folded shield almost completely gone. Luke 12 just surviving, and that's at least one placement point. As Synchrony goes down to Arthur and Fairy Tale. Toyo, they want to deal with Luke 12, but as soon as Luke 12 steps up, he's getting shot at by Mira, and now Toyo in the back. Black goes down. Quan gets the knock, gets the flush. Now Benya and Emmy, what can they do? Oh, Bizzler takes down last resource. Luke 12, he's getting a couple more placement points. He may not be thriving, but he is surviving. Peeks down and around, but Emmy with a great spray from the AUG, able to take away Liquid's points. No more placement points from them. Benya, he's found himself a spot in the zone. Emmy gonna have to try and make his way over there, but I don't think Emmy has a vehicle to work with. He's just gonna have to try and foot it all the way over there. Mira surely gonna have some angles to shoot towards that. 5 teams remain. Fairy Tale, Mira, Toyo, Dead End, Luminosity. Luminosity, they had the center spot in the zone, and they just weren't surviving very well. They had so many players knocked, but they're back up to a 3-man in the late stages of this, and they have a chance to really do some good damage to people. Fairy Tale, though, 13 kills so far in this match, as Conf gets a knock onto Gat, so that's another knock onto one of the members of Luminosity. DJ, what's going on? How is your wonderful day going? Because I've decided that it's at least wonderful. This Akim gets a knock onto Emmy. Then Benya gets a knock onto one of the members of Dead End. Pirlo still in the smoke further behind. He's going to have to make a run. And immediately spotted out by Luminosity. Luminosity, they should... I do think that they should just look towards Pirlo, try and get the kill onto Pirlo. And they do indeed. Voxic finishes him off. We're into our top 4. Mira, Fairy Tale, Luminosity, and Toyo. And with how... Bizzler, you gotta reload. You have 0 bullet. You gotta reload. Oh, LFP1 gets the knock onto Voxic. Bizzler, you gotta reload. He's not reloading. DJ, I appreciate you allowing my forced wonderfulness onto you. My forced attitude. But Fairy Tale, they have 13 kills in this one, and they've had a phenomenal couple of first matches. If they can keep it up, they might actually be able to fight Mira for first place, because it's really Liquid and Luminosity were the other 2 teams that needed to try and fight Mira for the first place, and they weren't really getting it done. But now, Fairy Tale is coming out and just dominating some of these matches. More shots coming through from Luminosity towards Fairy Tale. We're going to see Voxic trying to make a send forward. Emmy and Benya, they are still alive. Toyo, they needed some more points to make sure that they were safe into next week, because they have not had a great week so far. Their day 1 was atrocious. only 13 points. They've come in and they've really turned around and had a much better day. Number 2 is Voxic. He gets an opening knock onto Fairy Tail. Emmy finds one onto Conf. And that's 2 down. Is Fairy Tail going to be the first team to go down in our top 4? Shroud going to be trying to make his way forward alongside Griffith. Emmy getting some shots onto Voxic as soon as he peeks his head up and over. Fairy Tail still going to make it into the zone. The team's just unrelenting. Not allowing them to make it easy. As Mira, they're sending it forward and they're going right on to Toyo. Fairy Tail. One goes down. The second takes so much damage. One, he gets taken down by... No, Quan survives because Bizzler takes down Emmy. The shots amount to nothing. Shroud, the last one left for Fairy Tail. Voxic goes down to Shroud. And Fairy Tail. Oh no, Shroud, you're gonna go down to the Molotov. No, he doesn't. He survives. How did the Molotov not do enough damage? That's crazy to me. The ending, just ending on a rock in the middle of the wide open. Fakes in with the arm, gets a knock onto Gats. And all he has is a folded shield and this tiny little mound to work with. He does spot out Shroud. Goes for the shot, doesn't connect. Still sees him on the back, goes for it again. 3 bullets left. Luminosity, a 2-man. Fairy Tail, a solo. Mira, surely destined to... LFP1 and Fakeson both have bombs. Okay. Fakeson with the headshot onto Shroud. Down goes Fairy Tail. What a game it was from them. Surely a ton of damage. LFP1 gets the headshot onto Bizzler. 1 remains. Gats. What can he do? Mira looking for a 10-kill dinner, but no, Gats goes down to the blue zone. And so does Bizzler, because he got revived. Mira gonna win it with 8 kills. That is the end of match number 9. What a match it was. Fairy Tail, 13 kills. Phenomenal from them. Mira had 8. And we're gonna go to a quick break as we get ready for match number, what, that'd be 10. Oh. Match. Wait, this one's match number 9. We weren't on. Wait, is this match number. No, this is match number 10. 10, 11, 12. I forgot how numbers worked for a second. I thought match number 10 would be Erangel, but that would be match 11 and 12. Clearly, I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's okay. We'll figure it out as we go. Numbers don't mean everything when it comes to the matches. All that matters is the action and what happens with the leaderboard. Who ends up on top? Which reminds me, I don't have my little leaderboard on. Wow. I can't type now either. Who put me in charge of this? Oh wait, I put myself in charge of this because I love casting. Let's open up this so I can properly see what all the points are at. So Amira Again, commanding lead, 128 points. Second place is Liquid with 97. And then tied for third place is Luminosity and Fairy Tale. Frost, if you hit an early game order, that would be phenomenal. And then you have a huge drop off to 5th place, which is Mutt with 54 points. Honestly, those weren't awful. They weren't great, but they weren't awful. Okay. Yeah. Fighting for relegation right now. Synchrony, Bonsai, Dead End, and Last Resource are your 4 teams in relegation. 24 points, 24 points, 22, and 20. And then 12th place, just outside, is 4-0 with 30 points. Dream 1 is in 11th, tied with Systematicos. Both of them at 32 points. And Toyo just barely ahead at 33 points. And again, our cutoff, 40 points. That's what we look for. So any of the teams below 40 points right now, so Toyo and down, all have the chance of being relegated. Toyo, they need 7 more points to be at our cutoff. Yeah, pretty much. So, Justin likes Pokemon. You know, I just like being out here like Justin. I like Pokemon. Oh my god. Nobody clipped that. That was bad. Please. My name's Jeff. E-pickup coming through from Alcadzia. They haven't had a phenomenal game, but they haven't really had any super bad ones. They're at 53 points. They're doing fine. Justin, how's it going? How is your wonderful day? Glad you could join us here. It's going? It's going wonderful is what you mean to say, right, Justin? Oh, last resource. Don't spin each other out. Okay, you do. Okay, Mutt's a little bit further away. The puppy life is rough. Well, I'm pretty sure you're the one that signed up for the puppy life. In other news, I'm gonna be getting another cat on Sunday, because my girlfriend's sister can't look after it, because her boyfriend has a cat allergy, and she was just supposed to watch it for a coworker. And then that all devolved into another thing. So we're getting another cat. And from my understanding, apparently the cat likes to be around people that talk a lot. And she may just sit in my laps for my casts. And that could be interesting. Just having the cat sit here and cast with me. Flavin, oh my god. Barely surviving. He gets there. Gets out of there with 1 HP. I feel so bad for you, Justin. My lack of sleep is from casting on Monday and Tuesdays. And not going to sleep at a proper time on Sunday to be prepared for it. So, partially self-inflicted, partially also working a full-time job and then casting 2 days a week minimum. And then streaming Fridays and Saturdays. Entirely self-inflicted is mine. Yours is not entirely self-inflicted. Puppies just... puppies. Every night lack of sleep. Well, I don't quite know what to tell you for that, Justin. Go to bed earlier. sleep more. But I feel like the puppy is the cause of you not being able to sleep more, because it probably causes trouble if you try to sleep more. Because that's what puppies do. Yep. So, it is the puppy's fault. Roxy getting shot at is dead end and last resource. Trading shots as they drive by each other. MHP gets the knock onto Cruxy. The flush quick to follow as Clausen does stop just a little bit further up the roadside. And now if dead end keep on going along the roadside, they're going to run right into the rest of last resource. But they're trying to just chase Balin. So Balin, he's going to try and actually drive by his teammates and bait them in. But no, dead end doesn't fall for it. Balin taking some shots. Oh, MHP hits a tree. The shot's coming through. No, they're gonna crash onto Balin. The shot's coming through onto Balin. Clausen takes down him. Arthur gets the knock onto MHP. The spray coming out. Clausen just barely not able to connect on the final shots. You need Trisk. Hit some great shots onto Clausen, though. Paradox gets the knock onto Arthur, and it's all onto Trisk. 1v3 up against dead end. He's got to be careful. The side angle from Paradox. The shot's coming through. They don't connect at all. The little bunny hop. He's able to avoid the shots for now. The shots do come through again from the side. One more bullet. Oh my god, the fence. Putting up some wonderful defense there for Trisk to keep him alive. That nade looking good. Does 30 damage. More stuns come out. Pirlo ends up stunning himself a little bit with that. Trisk, he finally does go down. Clausen finishes off the final member in last resource. The first team to go out in match number 10. Puppies. Yeah, it's okay. We love puppies. They're a pain in the butt, but they're puppies, so we deal with them being pains in the butts. They get forgiven. Roth. Oh, he's gonna pull up here on the fairy tale, and he's gonna take so many shots from Griffith. He's gonna make it inside for right now, but he's gonna get crashed on. And this may be the end for Roth. Griffith gonna spot him out, go for the shots, and he does connect and takes him down. Roth gonna get flushed out here. Now Kadzia losing one early. It's been the name of their game so far. It is unfortunate. Jam has a puppy on his shoulder. It was only for a split second, but I definitely saw Jam with a puppy on his shoulder there. I need to get a fit check on Jam now, please. Fit check. Coyote, 3 smokes to get out of there. Might have been a little bit excessive. He may end up a couple of smokes short in the late game if he's not able to loot some dead bodies. So those 3 smokes used there could be detrimental. 2 might have been fine. Definitely, DJ. Teach them to be the fun pains in the booties. It's okay. I want to get a husky at some point. And that's going to be a real pain in the butt. nothing. They took an E-pickup. They're trying to make it down. Type. He was solo. No, he's gonna survive for a second. He actually might survive fully. He's just gotta drop down the side and get rezzed. And Type's actually gonna fully survive. Crazy there. Fairy Tail, they take 2 knocks. Fairy Tail has 2 knocked. Unusual start to how they've been doing. That is absolutely accurate, Justin. Yeah, if you can train a Husky, they're crazy. Fairy Tail, they are down 2. Akim goes down 1. Left remaining is potentially dangerous getting involved in this. And nades, Molotovs going out from Rello. He's doing everything he can to try and take care of Griffith. Wait a second. May try and go for the res. The nade from Nidavon takes down Rello. And now Blue Zone's coming out. Doing damage onto Akim. And Akim just barely outside of it. One more Blue Zone. Potentially dangerous. You don't know how close you are to taking down those 2. Fairy Tail, they survive. Does Elkadzia go down? Nade from Akim. They're gonna know exactly where the players are. Another Blue Zone going out. Should do more damage. That nade does land inside. Doesn't do any damage. No. Glock preps it, throws it in. That one should be good, but no, they barely survived that smoke. Or that nade finally does enough. Nidavon gets the knock onto Akim. Griffith, the last one left. He's avoiding the nades, but how much longer? He pushes forward, tries to go for the shots onto Nidavon, but Gabriel there to finish him off. Fairy Tail down and out. Luminosity. They've heard all the fighting. They're coming to take a peek onto that compound now. Meanwhile, Mira, they're spreading out slowly, more and more. Getting more traction. Synchrony on one side, 4-0 on the other. And if this pulls down south, it's gonna spell trouble. For Mira being crammed in between 2 different teams. Casagrande barely surviving. Azemi had some great shots, but Caspitan from the hillside is able to get the knock. Able to follow it up with another shot on to Lawson. Yeah. Well, it's also, I think, because Jam is covering. I don't know. DIY may be taking a week off or something. So Jam is playing with them. So it's a little bit different of a dynamic. With that just one different person. As Emmy takes down Ribeiro. But, I mean, we've seen just changing one person until you get used to them can take a little while to get used to. So that might be all it is. Jam kind of filling in for DIY for this week. Team Liquid. Alo goes down to Jibs. Dream 1. Causing some problems here. So we are seeing more and more team kills. Toyo go down, and part of it is because someone ran over their teammate. We won't name names around here. It's definitely not because I didn't see it in the kill feed properly. 12 IG, what a bunny hop onto the roof here to try and put some more pressure onto Mira. Fauna steps out and does so much damage. 12 IG with the repeat, gets the knock. Yeah, Jam is still good. It's just that he hasn't played with Elkadzia for the past 15 weeks. So, or however long Okadia has been fully together. It's been way longer than 15 weeks, I think. So... Right, Flameskir gets a knock on to Fake. So now it's Mutt, Dream 1, and Team Liquid in this area. Peeks in. Taking some damage from the nades, and that nade finally finishes off Dream 1. Sleep 12 and Purdy able to finish that off, and now Mutt is going to be the next to follow. Alo has gone down. So we're going to see Team Liquid going up against Mutt. No, it looks like Purdy just repositioning back towards the zone. Luminosity sending it down towards the utility tower. Power pole, utility pole. Crashing down onto Black. They want to try and take care of him, and Bizzler connects with a headshot, and down goes Black. 6 teams eliminated, 32 players left alive. H11 Jr. trying to make his way into the zone, getting shot at by Dead End, but none of the bullets connect, and he does find a safe spot with a little bit of ridge to work with. Dead End, they have plenty of drops if they ever get the time to go loot them, but potentially dangerous on the hillside just above, in a very dangerous spot for Dead End. And it goes up to the north, so Mira going to be happy with that because they have teams everywhere around them, so they definitely don't want to have to fight too much. Bonsai and 4-0. Zero is inside the warehouse. Type finds a knock onto Andrew. Zero definitely spotted out Type. 4-0. Still up as a 4-man. A little bit spread out. Type just kind of taking this fight right now. It looks like 4-0. Just pushing forward away from this. Zero not going to be able to get the res. It's actually Glock stealing the kill. 4-0. They know that the zone is going to be moving. They just got to figure out where they got to move to. Is Zero going to be moving early? Just can't. Team Liquid. They're up on the hill above potentially dangerous, trying to see if anyone's overextending, but they have to be careful because behind them is Luminosity. They crash onto Dead End. But that's not going to be great for them because this isn't even in zone. Baki shoots a Panzer forward. It doesn't find any damage, and now Clausen gets the knock onto Baki. Pirlo takes down Fake. H11 Jr., he finds 2. Can he find Paradox? Can he find the 3rd? The stun going forward from Paradox. H11 Jr. going to go down to the blue zone. No, Slabby picks up the kill. Now Paradox going to have to send it forward. As Amigos going down 2-4-0, but Flavin, he runs out of bullets. The spray coming out from Gmo. DNL, he goes down to Fakes in from the other side. 8th place, and yet more placement points for Mira. Zero, he's going to pick up another kill onto Dead End. This Paradox was just trying to find his way into the zone. Hey, look, I caught the Ralts. Let's go. Maybe have a Gardevoir in the future. Luke 12 spots out Bizzler. Smirzera getting shot at by Synchrony. He's gonna have to try and make it back down the hillside. And... oh, Zero, what can you do? So many players shooting at you. Bonsai out in 7th. And no one's really, like, in this zone. Oh, extreme. He's holding the angle all the way back towards the edge of zone, and down he goes to Nidavon. Nidavon, though, traded out by Luke 12. Great spray from Luke 12. Nades, util being used towards Nidavon. They want to try and get the flush, at least one more point in the bag, maybe even another knock. As the res is coming out from Slabby. And Liquid not going to be able to find a knock onto them. Gmo gets knocked out of the vehicle by Fakes, and the rest of his teammates have to jump out, make their run forward. Kamish goes down to Glock, and there's only one remaining, and down he goes. Glock picking up a few kills there. Luminosity on this side. It's going to be Liquid against Luminosity again. Here we go, round 2. Snakers getting stunned by Purdy and Luke 12. That stun does decent, but finds one. Bizzler trying to make his way back over here. The shot's not aimed. And Bizzler takes him down. My words were so far off there. Potentially dangerous. Taking some shots from Mira, as they have to try and make their way forward. Synchrony still going to be fighting up against Mira. LFP1 looked like he had the head lined up, but the bullets do not connect. This zone just in the open. So difficult to play for all of these teams. LFP1, he doesn't have a ton of boosters left, but he does have 4 first aid kits to work with. That jump scout there from LFP1 should have spotted out RDG and Falcon. And now Luminosity from a different angle starting to get some shots towards them. LFP1 gonna prep the nade, gonna throw it forward. It bounces off of the tree branch. The tree branch denies LFP1's nade as Bizzler gets a knock onto Dwamsen. Mira pushing forward, but that nade right at his feet denies the push. LFP1 goes down. More nades to follow. Molotovs, blue zones. Quan waiting further back here. 19 seconds before this zone is going to pull away from them. And it's going to be potentially dangerous and a great spot to try and turn this into a win. Oh my god. Sneeze came out of nowhere, and that Molotov should be able to block off any push from Mira for a short little while. RDG gets one. Quan goes down to the blue zone, fakes in. Trying to get the shots, but Falcon finishes off Faison and Synchrony. Now they're getting the points that they need to shoot themselves up the leaderboard. Potentially dangerous. They spot out Luminosity in the side. Slabby, he has 2 nades to work with. He's going to throw it forward. Does it connect? It gets the knock onto one, but not the other. Bizzler, the last one that remains. Another nade comes forward. Is that enough? No, it doesn't do any damage. Bizzler, he gets a knock onto Falcon. 3x spray coming through. Bizzler, one bullet away from going down. Tapping away is Nidavon. He does end up getting the flush, the stun going forward. Bizzler gets the first aid off. Spotted as he makes his way a little bit farther to the right. Slabby just throwing a smoke at him. Slabby, he's going for this, but he's got to be careful because from the other side, there will be Synchrony. Gabru, no, he takes down Synchrony. The nade goes out towards Bizzler, does a lot of damage. Slabby prepping another one, throws it forward. Is it enough? It looks good. But the emergency cover giving Bizzler enough cover, and down he goes. That is potentially dangerous. Winning match number 10, 17 kills from them. And just that game alone should pretty much guarantee them through into next week's Division 1. But we're going to throw it to a quick break as we get ready for match number 11, our final Erangels of the day. Ice cream is yummy, and that is why I eat it. Because without ice cream, is it even worth it? It's just delicious. If we want audio, I should probably turn on the audio. Just maybe. Yeah, okay. I mean, I didn't have ice cream last night because I was casting. Most of the time when I cast, I don't usually have ice cream. Obviously, we've had casts where I've eaten ice cream at the same time. Mainly when El Kadzia had that, 27 kill game. You would be absolutely correct, DJ. I think this is the third time I've eaten ice cream during a cast. And I think El Kadzia popped off both of the other times. One of them was 27 kills. The other one wasn't quite as crazy, but it was still like a really good game from them, and I think they won. So. Yeah. Yeah, exactly how we would want game number 11 to go. Super bloody. Can you imagine it was game 6? How quickly it would get bloody? Okay, DJ, here you go. Boop. I sent it to you. Telepathically. Through the camera. Did it work? Synchrony and Amigos. Both landing here. In Milta. Can go one of two ways. They could just not fight each other. And share Milta because it's in the zone. Or they fight each other. And Synchrony goes down. And that's probably Synchrony's chance to get out of, or stay in Division 1, gone. Or, Synchrony fights them, and wins, and then has a good spot in zone for a little while, and can try and stay in Division 1 going into the last match. Perfect, DJ. I'm glad you were able to eat it through the screen. They take the first loss of this match. Plent's the first one to go down. Right, well, the ice cream is gone now, unfortunately. So that's a little disappointing. take one last sip of my water here real quick. Now that's gone as well. I need to do a little bit of cleaning in my room here. It's just a little bit dirty. Oh, great shots from Purdy there. Onto Systematicos. Yeah, Elcadia are in a decent spot, but I feel like their playstyle... You know what? You know what I think it is? Elcadia go for these big splits. Why can't I stop hiccuping lately? In the early game, and playing with Jam instead of DIY, they're not playing them the exact same. So maybe that's where the disconnect in the missed rhythm is Dead End going near Luminosity. They're getting some good shots, but not consistent shots. Gats was almost taken down. So Dead End surviving just fine. So maybe they're just not getting as much control as they want, and then if someone goes down, they're just not getting to them as quick as maybe when they play with DIY. Maybe that's where the disconnect is. Because I feel like we keep on like seeing them as a 3-man in the late game. They're not like all 4 staying up. Shots coming out towards last resource. Trisk, his vehicle gonna be blowing up, and Andrew with the links, the headshot onto Trisk as he just pops up. And down he goes. They lose a vehicle and a player. You know, not as bloody of a first circle as I was expecting. We've only lost 2. Like, it could have been so much more than that at this point. Now, next zone, depending on what happens, it could get a bit spicy. Oh, Elcadia. Roth gets knocked. Cowboy gets a trade onto Luke 12, though. And I feel like that's kind of what we haven't been seeing from Elcadia, is those trades coming through. They've had one person getting knocked, and that's been, like, pretty much it for them. Dead End. You just gotta make it down into that building. Yes, there you go. Just survive for a little while. Paradox, he's trying to make it over into the other building. Have a little bit of a split going so they're not all stacked in one spot. Elcadia, they're back up to a 4-man. They got Roth onto his feet. Luminosity. See, this is where it might get bloody, because a lot of the spots already taken. Luminosity not really going to have a ton of playable space left. Dream 1. Bisler gets the knock onto Jib, so now there's 2 down for Dream 1. I don't know who got the initial knock onto Dream 1. It is going to be Luminosity capitalizing off of it. Bisler maybe shooting the toes of his teammate a little bit there. As, like, if this pulls hard south, maybe not, like, directly south, but, like, relatively far south, to where a lot of the water is still in, or even to the east. If it pulls, like, hard southeast, this could get very crazy very quickly, and that's when the real bloodbath may start. But we are 10 minutes in, and we have only lost 4 players. Phase 2. It went down south, at the very least. Fairy Tale, no longer in. And, yeah. Okay. This is the exact zone I was envisioning for, like, the maximum amount of chaos. as Luminosity just gonna start their rotate. It's gonna be a mad dash. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to, like, cast this. It's gonna get ridiculous in just a second here, I think. Oh, Bizzler flipping the vehicle, but he rights it and keeps on going. El Kadzia, they're sending it down into Mutt. They lost one. Jam finds the knock onto H11. Rello, he doesn't even have a red dot to work with. Jam goes down to the nade from Baki. Rello. Cowboy. On the backside, does Rello hear the footsteps of Fake outside? Toyo, they're sending it through now. Lost a tire on the UAZ. That thing is just crawling. I think it's lost both its front tires, or both its right side tires, and it is just crawling. They're gonna pull up right over here, and it's gonna be up against Mira that they find themselves. Benya tries to pull off Black. He gets the knock onto Fakeson. Tries to go for the flush, not able to get it. The nades going forward. As Black, he goes down to Bizzler. The nades doing some damage as Mutt goes down to El Kadzia. 2 down for Toyo. Benya from the side trying to get some shots onto LFP1. As Emmy gets the res, Snakers takes down LFP1, and then Bizzler takes down Emmy. Quan taking shots from Black, who goes down to Snakers from the back. So Luminosity just absolutely reaping the rewards of trying to run the gauntlet early. And Conf ends up finding Bizzler. Headshot onto Flavin by Arthur. Those shots looked like they might have been able to get a little bit more, but unfortunately the headshot is all that comes of it. Oh, see what I mean? Craziness. It's just one thing after another. Doesn't mean it's not fun. Because it is. But it's like, what is, like, now I have to try and figure out what's going on the map again. So Kadzia, they're a 3-man. They lost Roth on their crash. Dead End are next to them. Liquid on the other. What? What? Dude, can it end on this circle? Or on this tiny little rock? Oh my god. What? Mira getting cut off by Luminosity. Gats, he gets taken down. But his buggy, it does a little bit of stopgapping. This Quan just goes for the flush. The shot's coming through, but Bizzler and Snaker is able to take down Mira. Fairy Tale coming in behind Luminosity. El Kadzia, they've made their crash over here. They are a 2-man, 4-0 in the compound, along with Last Resource and Dream 1 up above. So many teams, so little players in that tiny little area. Luminosity, looks like they may end up getting surrounded by Fairy Tale here. Griffith gonna be turning in. And I think he's driving a little bit too long, maybe causing a little bit too much noise. Don't get run over by your teammate. Ooh, that could have been close. Voxic on the other side going for the spray onto Conf. The nades coming through. The nade from Griffith does get Voxic. Now, Snaker spotted out by Akim. The flush quick to follow, but Akim goes down to Bizzler, who's gonna just go for the kill. Shroud, one more bullet is all he needs to take care of Bizzler. he's just not able. Oh, one bullet wasn't enough. He needed two to try and take care of him. And now Bizzler almost turns it around. No, he does turn it around. Shroud goes down. And that's his second one down for Fairy Tale. Shroud out in the blue zone, not going to be able to get res. Bizzler still causing problems in the kill feed. You see him get another onto Griffith. Finally going down to Conf. Now we're going to see people trying to leave Milta. Bonsai, the team furthest ahead. Liquid have a spot right on the edge. In the nade, right towards Lawson. Not able to get the knock, but Casagrande, he goes down to Falcon. Flushed out by Glock. Lawson doesn't even realize that Nidavon standing right next to him. He goes down. Potentially dangerous. Gonna have to try and go forward and make their way through Synchrony. Well, Team Liquid gonna have to go forward and try and go through Bonsai. Frost, he took a headshot, but he still survived. No, Luke 12 gets another headshot and takes him down. So now Bonsai down to a two-man. The Synchrony are taking care of potentially dangerous. It does not go to that. We do, like, pull off of the water here a little bit. Luke 12, the shot onto Zero. And now Falcon able to finish off Glock. We still have 10 teams alive. There's only 26 players. This has been a bloody massacre. No team really able to keep 4 up. Except a couple extreme hops out of the... and takes down Frost and Andrew. Now Synchrony trying to make their way forward. Luke 12 gets the knock onto Jobson. Synchrony, they just have no cover or anything to work with. So low. RDG, the last one. Purdy finds the shot. Liquid, 7 kills. Mira is out of this match, so technically... yeah. Pretty much, DJ. It would have had to be perfect for that to have been a thing. Flav and Gmo, they're separated. They're not going to be able to get back together. Kanzi actually rotated from above Arthur down and around to a different hill. And Fairy Tale took the hill he was previously at, so if he hadn't moved, he probably would have gone down to Fairy Tale. So that may have been just, like, the biggest brain move that he could have done there. Because now it's gotten quiet. Nobody had to move for Phase 4, because it's still just the same amount that was in for Phase 3. And wow. Wow, okay. That's just crazy. Amigos are gonna have to make a move. Liquid has to make a move. Fairy Tale has to go somewhere. Dead End still have to rotate. Akadzia, they're in on the edge. At this point, I would just bank it on going to the coastline. That might be the best position possible. Liquid kind of already doing just that. Luke 12, he's made quite a move already. ready. Clausen gets the knock onto Lopez, but Rello is the one that gets the kill. Pops his head out for a second, and Gmo gets a knock onto 12IG. Vapeskar gonna be one of the last two left for Amigos. Looks like they're gonna get some smokes out. They're gonna be able to get their res Flavin. Gonna be thinking about trying to make his way forward, try and finish this off. The Panzer, and it gets the flush! The vehicle, it's gonna blow up. But I think, yeah, Vapeskar in a vault had enough room to not have to worry about that. Gmo gets a knock onto MHP now, gets the flush as well. And 4-0, they're picking up some kills where they really needed some. Yeah, Hamsy's position is a really good spot to take, but I don't think they have the info on what's going on this side of the zone, so the coast would probably be great, and with how the zones have been going, just go straight to the coast and you're probably fine. As Hansy trying to hold off up against Liquid. Nades coming up and over. He's on the edge of the smoke, trying to spot anything he can. Liquid, you gotta try and take care of him as quick as possible. One more nade right up against the rock. May have been enough. Hansy able to avoid it, but now Old Purdy sprays more. And Fairy Tale, they're gonna try and take this fight. Griffith gets taken out of the vehicle. No, he's on the... He doesn't get taken out of the vehicle. He's just further along the coastline. Now Liquid gonna nade right towards the vehicle. That vehicle not gonna be long for this world. Smoke's coming out from Fairy Tale. Team Liquid gonna be just up above them. The nades going out. Neither of them doing any damage. Thrown too far. Another nade comes through. Conf takes damage. Shroud takes a lot. Purdy, he goes down from behind. Vapeskar gets the knock. Extreme finds the knock on Conf, but Shroud gets the trade. Luke 12 not injured. No, Luke 12. Oh, Rello takes down Alo. Did Luke 12 make it back up? Yes, he did, but he's in a spot of no help at this point. Liquid, they had the spot, but they couldn't take care of Fairy Tale when they came over here. Amigos, what a stun there. Cowboy can't see anything. Now he's going to go for the repeat, but Amigos had done enough and take him down. Fairy Tale goes down from behind. Vapeskar gets the flush onto Purdy. Arthur, he was spotted out. He's not in the zone. So we're down to 4 teams now with Flavin going down to Clausen. A 2v1v1. 2v1. Forgot one of the ones. Arthur almost down to Clausen. Molotov's going forward. Arthur... Still spotted out by Clausen. I don't know, I think Luke 12 can still win this. I think he can. We'll have to see. Amigos just trying to block off the angle from Clausen. And now Clausen, he's starting to take damage from the blue zone, but he's just chilling there. He's just accepting the damage from the blue zone. I don't know if this is the play. Arthur is still alive. Oh, Dead End and Last Resource both need these points. Clausen, he has 5 first aids left. Arthur isn't using any first aids because he's still in the zone. But now the shot's coming out from Vapeskar and Arthur goes down. Okay. Clausen, honestly, I think it's worth it to just try and get a knock. Go for it. Why not? Oh, going for the shots. Amigo's going to be confused about that. Luke 12. He stepped forward and then goes right back. Vapeskar, a vault. Might not know where he is. Oh, they're looking elsewhere. Now no, they're still clueless. But surely they're gonna have to just start looking. Oh, did a vault see it? Luke 12. I still think he can win it. 1v2. We've seen him do some crazy stuff. He just needs to hit the double headshot. He has a 3 helmet. Oh, those two are just staying perfectly up on that hillside. Making it difficult for him. He has moved up to a tree now. He's in the zone. Vapeskar is right there. Oh, Luke 12, come on. They're gonna have to come down the hillside at some point. They're going to the left. Luke 12 going to the right, going here. He grabs the 3 vests. He has a Mark 12 to work with now. This changes things. Ever so slightly. A 3 vest and a Mark 12 can mean a lot more damage. Amigos just so confused as to where he is. Did a vault see him there? I don't think so. I don't think they know where he is. Vault, he's gonna hop in the vehicle and try and start to drive forward. The headshot, the second shot, and it's down into a 1v1. Luke 12 versus Vapeskar. But it's 3 gear and a Mark 14, and that's a headshot onto Vapeskar. In Luke 12, he can do it. He just needs a couple more follow-up shots. He has 2 nades to work with on top of that. So he's going to make it over to this tree. He might even be able to make it up to the side of the hill. And really put some pressure onto Vapeskar. Oh, he's just waiting. Waiting, but Vapeskar, he can go so far around. On the low side, Luke 12. He spotted him out. Good headshot from Vapeskar onto Luke 12. And now he's going to move forward. Luke 12, he has a couple of nades to work with, though. So he can make it happen. And he did suspect Vapeskar going there. And the nade is perfect. And Luke 12 takes match number 11 away from Amigos. 12 kills for Team Liquid, 2,100 damage and 10 assists. What a match there. What a clutch from Luke 12 at the end. That is how we end our second to last match. 1 more to go. We will be right back after a quick break. We're only going to do a minute and a half of ads because we don't need to stall for as much time. We have some pre-roll left over from the other ones, honestly, I might be able to run a minute. There's 25 minutes of pre-roll. We're going to run a minute of ads. It should be fine. one more match to go. That is what we have in store, and Liquid has brought it close again. If Mira goes out early like they did in the last match, all of a sudden, it's going to be all eyes on what Liquid can do. Meanwhile, further down the leaderboard, we still have such a close contest between all our bottom teams. 10th place, 38 points. That's still not the 40 points that we've been talking about. And then all the way down to 16th is only 26 points. So there's so much room for it to swap around, and it's going to start with Amigos versus Synchrony. Synchrony currently in 15th place. How are they going to be able to deal with the members of Amigos, who are all the way up in 6th place? They hopped a couple of positions in that last match, tied for 6th place without Kadzia. Vapeskar goes down first. Lopez, he hits a good headshot, but RDG gets the trade, and that's 2 down for Amigos. And a great start for Synchrony. A Vol from the warehouse gets good shots onto RDG. Not a knock. 12 IG further forward. Goes for the bolty shot. Vapeskar still knocked. Not going to be able to get rezzed very easily. 12 IG. He is thinking about trying to make his way forward. A vault. He gets a shotgun shot onto one. Gets the second, but he goes down to Falcon, who's going to quickly get the flush and get ready to get the rest of his team through the smoke before it blooms. He does find him and take him down. Amigos, the first one's out of our last match, and we have a melee circle. So that is Synchrony getting a few points, but that's only going to tie them for 12th place right now. And they have less placement points than Dream 1 in Systematicos. So it's really going to come down to if they can get more points than them, or if they get more placement points than them in this match. That is how it's currently looking for Synchrony. That's going to be a crazy story. I mean, Dead End, they're only at 38 points. They need 2 more to be safe. Toyo is only at 36 points. They've had a couple of 0-point games back-to-back. So now they're going to have to actually come through with at least a few kills to try and make it up and out. Bonsai, they're in last place with 26 points. They need to have... They need to win, I think, to make it out of relegation. It's not impossible, just difficult. Last resource, they get a knock onto Luke 12. Crazy Cruxy. They hear him outside running around. They're trying to go for the shots. They spot Trisk a little bit further. The nade coming out. Great nade. Little bouncer off the side there. Then Purdy, he was ready, but Arthur just annihilates him. Halo, there's a Panzer at your feet. Trisk goes down. Cruxy goes down. That's 2 from Halo. Extreme tries to get more, not able to connect with any. Arthur throwing a nade up, but not doing any damage. Luke 12 still down, well off in the distance. Alo gonna prep a nade, gonna throw it right on the ground. Balin gonna have to jump off of the res from Cruxy. Trisk spotted. Trisk is flushed out. Arthur, he hits the shots onto Purdy again, and that's a re-knock on Purdy. Extreme Arthur. He picks up another. Extreme versus Arthur. What is going to happen? Extreme does get the re-knock onto Cruxy with the nade, going for the shots onto Balin. But Arthur, he's able to take him down. Last resource. Picking up 4 kills onto Team Liquid, the team that we needed to see have a good match. to be able to take the top spot away from Mira. It's going good, Noxie. How's it going for you? And it looks like Toyo gonna be crashing right onto this. This could spell detriment for Last Resource. They were trying to fight their way out of the very, very bottom of the leaderboard, and Toyo wants to make sure they stay in Division 1. They should stay in Division 1, but they have just not been playing up to their standard of play. And now Emmy with the Panzer trying to clear this out. Goes for the shot, and he does take down Balin, but it's Arthur who's been decimating through all of the players so far at this compound. Can he do more? It's a 1v4. In this situation, he does get the first aid kit off. But Benya, he has a Panzer, a follow-up Panzer. It goes off, and down he goes. Yes, Extreme's a fill-in. He wasn't playing yesterday. And then El Kadzia has, Jam, filling in, for DIY. As far as I know, these are fill-ins. Because usually Smirzera takes a week off, so I think a couple of people made plans for the week or something. I'm not entirely sure. I have no facts. Extreme should be a fill-in. Jam should be a fill-in, for El Kadzia. And I think everyone else is playing with their normal teams. But I can definitely update you next week. If Extreme's still playing with them and go like, hey, maybe it's not a fill-in. Or Extreme definitely is a fill-in because he wasn't playing yesterday. And it was the entirety of Team Liquid yesterday. Oh, Kadzia has had Jam both days. So either DIY was taking a little break for this week after 4 weeks in a row. Smirzera League, Rello, he has the Panzer, goes for it, but it doesn't do anything. El Kadzia is still trying to go for the bridge camp, but they haven't found anything. They have spun Fake out now, who's gonna come to a stop here in a second. He hops out of the vehicle, pops down to smoke. He is just left in the middle of nowhere. Plent's getting shot from the top of the hill. Rello going for the spray. Roth does take down Plent's. Fake. He tried to run away. Now he's just turning around, but Rello finds his shoulder. Mutt down to a single player. I will say, Mutt is 55. So 55, I think, dropped their team. So now they're playing for under Mutt, which is just their team. It's not an actual org. And they were fighting at the top of the leaderboard for most of the day yesterday. So that was pretty impressive. I don't know if it was, like, finally a weight off their shoulders. Maybe they were feeling a little bit too pressured trying to perform for the org or something. But what we saw out of them yesterday, if they can get that consistency and everything, it shows why 55 would have signed them in the first place. Fairy Tale. Oh, they're going to be going for an E pickup, but Bizzler finds one. Bizzler finds two. He goes down to Snakers. And Akim, he's just going to go for the insta-res. He wants to get a res before Luminosity goes for a full-on crash. Get at least one person back up on their feet. And here they come. They were able to get the res onto one. Akim going to be going for the shots. Shroud on the second floor. He does get the knock onto Voxic, so they get at least one back. They get the knock onto a second, and it's back down into a 2v2. The nade goes from Snakers, but he actually misses it. Unusual there for Snakers. But that nade doesn't find anything. Akins only finds 8 damage, and Shroud, he finds a third. Can he find the last from the side? Bizzler, he finds one. Bizzler versus Shroud. 1v1. 1. Shroud peeking around, going for the shot. Bizzler, with a sliver to work with, takes down Shroud. What a hold there by Bizzler at the end. The confidence to go for that repeak with no health remaining. Oh my goodness. Synchrony, they E-pick up. Kind of just taking middle of zone away from other people. Toyo just making a run in the open. Gabru, he was laying down. In the open. As Glock ends up getting a knock onto Caspitan, so that's 1 down for Toyo. Toyo, they don't want to go out here. They want to survive. At least get some placement points. I mean, there's only 11 teams left at this point. Emmy trying to make a run down shot onto Gabru. Another one to follow it up by Black. He's doing some damage. Toyo still survive. Systematico's over in Nova. Novo. 4-0. In the forest, along the beach side. Not a ton to work with. So Luminosity, they kill Fairy Tail using an E-pickup, and then they go and just pop their own E-pickup. Roth, you gotta be careful. You are alone up here on this hillside. I don't think Alcazia is gonna get anyone else trying to cross the bridge. Everyone else is already in Military Island besides Dream 1 and Luminosity. Benya, did you just try and stun gun your teammate? Luminosity. Where are you gonna try and go? Voxic, oh my god, he's already taken some hefty shots there from potentially dangerous, and down he goes. Glock takes him out of the air. Luminosity down to a 3-man, but they do land on the mountainside. Synchrony gonna be in a great spot. Dream 1 halfway across the water, still just trying to swim their way over. Jibs, are you gonna make it? Jibs is kind of cutting it close. Hopefully he'll be able to make it across without dying to the blue zone. And now it's kind of slowed down for a second. 40 alive, 11 teams left. Not quite as crazy. Jibs, it looks like he's going to make it just fine. Minute left until we get to Phase 4. I feel like not a lot of teams actually have vehicles, so we may see a pretty slow end game, because everyone's just going to be pushing on foot. Like, Systematicos has vehicles. I think potentially Dangerous has vehicles. I don't think 4-0 has any vehicles. Alcadzia has vehicles, so I think there's like 3 teams with vehicles. Everyone else came in on E-pickups or swam across. So now it's just quiet period. You guys are gonna lull me to sleep with just the occasional gunshot. Dream 1 spotted out by potentially dangerous. They're gonna choose a slightly new angle for their rotate. They're gonna have to figure something out, though. Because no matter what, they're gonna have to run into potentially dangerous's sightline. Jib, the one taking the damage, and down he goes. Headshot right at the end from Gabru. Now they're gonna try and smoke before they cross. Handsy takes one bullet. Potentially dangerous. Gonna have to start looking forward. It looks like Systematicos and Mira starting a fight on the other side of the zone. Potentially dangerous, not able to connect with more shots. Not able to get any knocks. And Zero getting shot in the back by Dead End, who, after last match, jumped up 3 positions. They were almost on the edge of relegation. They've brought themselves from the brink back up to staying in Division 1. Systematicos or Toyo, if either one of those teams go out, it would really, really surprise me. They are teams that I expect to be kind of fighting in the mid-pack, maybe not towards the top all the time. Toyo, again, just the inconsistency from Toyo sometimes can be a scary proposition. They have great weeks, and then they have weeks where they play like this, and they barely get 40 points. Dead End, they're still up as a 4-man, but they're not in the zone yet. The spot that they pulled up to, still not in the zone, so they have a little bit farther to go. Mira, they still have 1 player from Systematicos to deal with. If they keep on going to the east, then they're going to run right into Alcadzia. As now Luminosity getting pulled up on by potentially dangerous. No, just getting pulled up on by Gabru. Bizzler goes down. The shots returned from Snakers, almost taken down. Slabby making his way over to help Gabru. His Dead End, they lose 2 on their rotate into the zone. Potentially dangerous. It looks like the fight they want to take is up against Luminosity. Up the hillside they go. They did get Bizzler back up. Yeah, it's spotted out. Glock gonna be going for the shots. He gets the knock. Gonna be able to get the flush. Now it's a 2v4. Snakers is the last one left as Bizzler goes down to Gabru. 1v4 Snakers versus definitely dangerous. No potential about it. Shots coming through. Nades going out. And the nades connect. Nidavon finishes off Snakers. Mortars coming out towards potentially dangerous. Not doing anything. They pull up a little bit short. Alcadzia taking shots towards Mira as Dead End got eliminated by them. 17's left. Toyo, they're getting placement points. They got a knock onto Gabru. Enemy coming over towards Nidavon. Caspitan gets the flush. And that's what Toyo needed. They might be able to stay in this. If they can finish off potentially dangerous, then I do think Toyo stays in Division 1 going into next week. It's really going to depend on how the other teams do, because it's very close at the bottom of the leaderboard. Mira now pushing onto the backside of potentially dangerous. Slabby, Nidavon. The last 2 that remain, Og and a FAMAS fakes and takes down Nidavon. But he goes down to Slabby, who finds a second. But he goes down. Slabby goes down to Black. And that's another point. Mira, they have 2 knocked, 2 up. Does Toyo try and cross the mountains and capitalize? No, it looks like they're going to let Mira, a very dangerous team, get back up to a 4-man. 4-0, pushing on to Dream 1. Type ends up getting the knock onto Jimo with a nade. Self-inflicted damage. We've seen more of it today than over the past few weeks. Binds. Shots coming out. Shots connecting. Kamish going down from behind by Alcadzia. And Alcadzia, they waited until the final game to really come alive, I guess, is all over the kill feed. You see their logo along with Toyo's and Mira's. Coyote, the last one left for Synchrony. 5 kills in 6th place currently. It's good stuff from them, but isn't enough. Oh, the Molotov onto Coyote. Now Mira from behind getting some shots onto Coyote, and down he goes. Juan able to find the final couple of bullets. Synchrony go down. 6 points. Was it enough to get past the teams above? I don't know what some of the other teams got. Just off of the points they got here alone, they are through. But that could all change depending on how the other teams did in this match. Mira 3x FAMAS spray onto Jam, gets the knock. Rello Roth immediately turning their attention to Mira. 9 kills in this. Confirming their first place spot in this without a doubt. And Rello, he takes down 1. And the FAMAS takes down Roth. Alcadzia down in 5th place. Toyo, they're up to 4th. They should be good and through. The question is, what teams got eliminated? If Dead End and Toyo made it, then it's Dream 1, Systematicos, Last Resource, Synchrony, and Bonsai all fighting to try and stay out of relegation. Oh, and Dream 1 is still alive. Jib surviving is huge for Dream 1. It might be the reason that they're able to stay in Division 1 going into next week. Four v 4 and a couple of solos down at the bottom of the hill. Rosa spray from Emmy. Good shots onto Fakeson. Needed 1 more bullet. Could not find it. Caspitan, though, does get the opening knock onto Fakeson. Is Toyo gonna try and push forward and get more off of this earlier? LFP1 getting the spray onto Caspitan. Quan gets a knock onto Emmy. So now there's 1 aside. 1 in LFP1, though, incredibly low. LFP1, he doesn't have a vest to work with. Emmy in a spot where Toyo might not be able to get the res. Benya behind the tree getting shot at by Fauna. The nades coming out. No damage coming through with those first couple. That one does 30. 61. That nade finally does enough. Gets the knock onto Benya, and Toyo down to a 2-man. Meanwhile, Mira's still up as a 4-man. Black try and get the res onto Emmy. Caspitan, he is spotted out. Tries to go for the bolty shot. So LFP1, he snuck his way over here. He gets a knock, he gets a flush. And now Toyo are down to 2. The nade coming up and over towards Emmy. But it doesn't connect with anything. Was black spotted out. Definitely should have been there. LFP1, he still has 2 more nades to work with. Black gonna throw a nade where LFP1 was going towards, and now the shot's gonna come through. LFP1 or Black, who's gonna connect with the shots? And Black, he does connect with the shots, but the nade does enough. Jibs, he steals a kill away. And now, oh, Emmy, he had the shots lined up with the Groza, but the stuns, they're so great. And Quan, able to finish him off. Jibs 1v3 against Mira, making his way up the hillside. Making his way forward. Fakes in going down the hillside. Spotted out. Jibs takes a couple of shots. Now he goes for the reload. Drinking an energy drink. He's got to try and make sure that they don't get the wraps on him. Tries to go further up the hillside. Fauna fakes in. Down the hillside a little bit. Fakes in. He does go down, but from the side, there is Quan. Mira ending it with 17 kills in the chicken dinner to make a statement that first place is theirs. No one can take it for them. They can try next week, but they showed up in a dominant fashion for this one. Now we don't need to go to any more breaks. We just go like this, and we go like this, and we wait for the leaderboard to update. I want to know who's going to get relegated and who's going to make it through. Bottom 4 get relegated, and we'll get to see the 4 that come through. Most likely Empire, I know, is one of the teams that we should get to see coming through next week. And I think Bonsai is for sure eliminated, but the other 3, I honestly have no idea. It was so close. And with the updated tallies, it's Synchrony falling 2 points short. Last Resource, 35 points. Systematicos, 35. And Bonsai at 26. So, Systematicos, a team that was fighting for the top positions last series at the beginning, week 1 and 2, is getting relegated down into Division 2 here. Meanwhile, Dead End, a team that I wasn't really sure was going to make it through, clutched it up, made it through, right on the 40-point mark. I said that's what you need to aim for. 40 points is the cutoff and almost has been every single time. That is what it was here. We'll check. We'll wait for the Division 2 to pop up. And then we can raid someone real quick. I don't know who we're going to raid. Let me check and see who's on. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, teams that we're going to see next week. Inzeke team, Pure RNG, Empire Gaming, and Razav. Razav we've seen a few times. I don't think I've seen Pure RNG. It may be some names that we're familiar with on a team that we just don't know about. But it should be entertaining. Meanwhile, Empire we've seen, Inzeke team we've seen, Razav we've seen. Nobody holds. Wasn't able to make the cut. Neither was Cyril, Finno, who were there for the last couple of weeks in Series 3. I think we are gonna go raid Mason. So let's go start the raid on to Mason. I appreciate everyone that stopped by. You guys are always great. I have a ton of fun casting for you guys. We will be back here again on Monday next week for even more casting action. I hope you guys all have a wonderful night. Bye bye.